Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it's time for some Path of Exile discussion. Enlighten, Empower, Enhance. These three support gems are among the more desirable in Path of Exile at the moment, and it's something that I get asked maybe once or twice a week, is what's the best way to target farm these if you're in solo Southbound? There's no one slam dunk best choice, so I want to go through the various methods that you might consider using, some of which I don't recommend, some of which I do, and we'll go through the reasons for that. Firstly, though, you should be aware of alternatives. If you are watching this during patch 3.18, the Sentinel League, then using recombinators, this is armor recombinators specifically on gloves, can give you a special mod on gloves. These special glove mods will be Socketed Gems are supported by level 4 Empower if it's on a strength base, Socketed Gems are supported by level 4 Enhance if it's on a dexterity base, and Socketed Gems are supported by level 4 Enlighten if it's on an intelligence base. This is a rare outcome when you recombinate item level 68 and above gloves, and we don't know exactly how rare it is, but it's definitely not common. I've had one hit myself, and I kind of speculate it's a 2 or 3% outcome when you use the armor recombinators. So do be aware that that's an option. Now, if you use hybrid gloves, say gloves that have both a strength requirement and a dexterity requirement, you could get either, but not both of these outcomes. You could get Empower or you could get Enhance. You're not going to get Enlighten, and it does seem like you don't have any increased chance of getting that outcome. So it might be that instead of being 2% to get in Empower on pure strength gloves, you might be 1% to get Empower, 1% to get Enhance. That said, those percentages are pure guesswork. We don't know how rare these are. With that out of the way, as alternatives to getting these support gems, let's say you actually want the support gems themselves. So the first way you can get these is by running the Uber Maven. The Uber Maven can drop the Awakened versions, which level up to 4 naturally and can be pushed up to level 5 with a Varlorb that's lucky. These are very expensive in Trade League, and they're not really something you can count on getting yourself in solo Southbound, but I will just mention them as a possibility. Otherwise, there's a number of divination cards that give these specific support gems, and there's also a couple of other options like Heist. Let's start with the divination cards one by one. Home was added in patch 3.18, and it is widely suspected that it is tied to a specific map tag. So maps have a number of hidden tags on them that can be data mined from the game files. I'll put a link in the description below to the PoEDB page you see at the moment. This gives a list of every specific tag that is on every single map. If you do a search, there is a tag called city_home_map. Most of these maps have had reports of the home divination card dropping in them, and very few maps that are not on this list have a report. For that reason, I strongly believe that this card drops in all of these maps. Alleyways, Arcade, City Square, Chateau, the no longer existent Perandus Manor, Haunted Mansion, Ancient City, Residence, Bazaar, Tower, Siege, Sunken City, and Crimson Township. However, it's not a very common card. Getting yourself a set of home cards appears to take about as long as self-farming a set of the Nurse. So those of you that have run Tower extensively with perhaps in Magic Find setups in the past will know that that is not an easily put together set of cards, and the home card is rarer than the Nurse is. But it's not massively rarer, and it turns out that getting a set of 3 home may be about in line with getting a set of 8 Nurses. So that's something that you can keep in mind as an option, and I actually do recommend this. I think that whilst it's going to take you a while to get an exceptional gem this way, it is something that you can make clear progress towards. Every home drop is going to be progress towards getting the one you want. Of course, RNG could interfere and you might end up getting Enlighten after Enlighten when what you really want is an Empower. And if that happens, well, that's unfortunate. But ultimately, there is no absolutely flawless way to guarantee getting this. So next is the Dragon's Heart. This divination card does not seem to drop from a specific tile set, and as a result, I can't recommend farming this if your goal is to get yourself an Empower. We just don't know where this card drops. It's been reported in a wide variety of different places, and there's a lot of speculation that it may just drop from any red tier map. There's also speculation it may drop from any map that is influenced, but whatever the case, the drop rate is so low that it doesn't seem like you can target farm this. If you do luck into getting one of them, then use Harvest Double or Nothing crafts, and you've got a chance of turning it into a set of 11. You'll need to use a lot of those Harvest Double or Nothing crafts, but ultimately, in SSF, that's one of the best uses for them. Rare divination cards. The Artist comes next. This card is rare, but we do know where this drops. This drops in Overgrown Ruin and Overgrown Shrine maps, and it will give you a level 4 Enhance. It is very rare to get this card, and most players don't generally want level 4 Enhance. It's a much more niche thing. Getting 24 quality has much more limited benefits in most cases than getting +3 gem levels or getting an 88% mana multiplier. For that reason, this is not frequently farmed, but it is there as an option, and if you do decide you want to go this way, you can also make progress in a second way, and that is by finding Brush, Paint, and Palette, which drops from Portentia the Foul. This is the Doedre version, Doedre Act 8 map boss, and so that's another option that you've got as a secondary way to try and get yourself a set of the Artist, and thus to get yourself a level 4 Enhance. Now, the Enlightened is next, and this one is a divination card that is quite farmable compared to the rest. This card is not common, but it does drop in a map that you may otherwise be running because Crimson Temple drops the Apothecary. The Apothecary is the divination card for Mage Blood, and as a result, Crimson Temple is a map a lot of people are running, and a lot of people are throwing all their divination scarabs at as well. And do keep in mind that even if you're not in a situation where you can self-farm a set of the Apothecary in solo self-found, which I think would be the vast majority of people watching this video, if you do get a lucky Apothecary drop, then you can use the Harvest Double or Nothing crafts to potentially get some value out of it. Again, you'll have a 20% chance of being able to take that individual card up to a full set of 5, at which point, congratulations, you are one of the lucky people to own a Mage Blood in solo self-found. While you're doing that, why not also get the Enlightened dropping as well? That's one of the things that's been quite popular to do this league. Target farm that specific map and have a chance of getting these gems as well. So this one is a reasonable target, although you're not going to self-farm a set of the Enlightened easily either. This is going to be at least as rare a card as Home is, and so you're going to be going at this for a while, but ultimately it's an option. Wealth and Power is less of an option. This drops in Moon Temple, but is a considerably rarer drop, and you need a set of 11 rather than a set of 6. Not saying you can't do it, but you're going to be spending a lot of time in that Moon Temple tile set if you want to go this way. So what about getting level 1 versions of these gems? Obviously there's the Home divination card we were talking about. You can get these as global drops, but they are very, very rare and very, very unreliable. I don't really recommend trying to focus on increasing global drops as a way to get yourself Enlighten, Empower, and Enhance, because ultimately they're so rare that you probably won't see them often doing so. What you can do though is target gem-specific rewards from various league mechanics. Some league mechanics let you target specific types of league rewards more than others, and the ones that I think are best for doing this. Currently, Sentinel just drops a lot of loot, and Sentinel quite frequently does drop gem rewards, so Sentinel is a good option just using your Sentinels while you're mapping. That may require you to drop back in tiers because Sentinel content is pretty difficult, but it is something that's worth considering. Next, you have Heist. Heist has 2 sources of gems. Firstly, there are the Curios at the end of Grand Heist. Now, this is where all of your unusual gems come from. A lot of people think, oh yeah, that's where I'm going to go and farm my Enhance or my Empower from. I believe this to be a bit of a mistake. Whilst there is an alternate quality for all of the exceptional support gems, the reason for this is that gem blueprints are pretty rare as it is, and the Enlighten, Empower, and Enhance alternate qualities are very rare within those gems, within those blueprints. So don't recommend so much of an effort on the Grand Heist. You'll probably still run your Grand Heist because they're pretty lucrative anyway, but the real money here is in Counter Thaumaturgy Heists. So this is just regular contracts, this is not blueprints, and Counter Thaumaturgy ones are particularly good because they have a lot of gem reward chests. And these are the chests that have a gem icon on the minimap, and when you open them, most of the time you will get low-grade superior gems. Sometimes you will get level 19, 20, or even level 21 gems, but most of the time it'll be low-quality superior gems. But sometimes you'll get something quite special, and these can drop level 1 versions of all of the 3 exceptional gems. And whilst it's not a common outcome at all, it is probably one of the best options that you've got in solo self-found. So in summary, what do I recommend? Every Counter Thaumaturgy Heist that drops for you, you should be running these. Go in them, go to those gem chests, make a beeline for them, open them, see if the gem you wanted is there. Most of the time it won't be, but this is one of the best places in the game. Secondly, run your Sentinels if you're watching this during patch 3.18. Thirdly, consider target farming the Home Divination card. So perhaps favourite some of these maps. Obviously, as the Atlas changes each league, some of them will become unavailable, but most of them will be available in any given league, and you'll be able to find a few of these that you can run and target farm this Home Divination card. It's rare. A set of them is going to take you about as long to find as a set of the Nurse will, but ultimately it does drop, and it is one of the better ways of getting this card. Alternately, if you are chasing specifically Enlighten, then the Divination card, the Enlightened, drops in Crimson Temple amongst other places, and I would recommend going for that. If you are in that unusual spot of wanting Enhance, then you do have the options of the Artist and Brush, Paint, and Palette. And if you're going for Empower, bad luck. There's nothing really you can do other than going for the Home Divination card, because the Dragon's Heart just doesn't seem to be target farmable at all. That's all I've got. May your Valorbs have interesting results, and hopefully they will give you level 4 on your exceptional support gems, or level 5 if you have the Awakened versions.